They say some days you're gonna win. They say some days you're gonna lose. I tell you, I got news for you. You're losing all the time, you never win. No. If you believe that's how it's gonna be, I better put you down. Get up, you take your look, you come out on the ground. You gotta save me now. You better turn around. And I looked around. I was heading down. Oh, somebody throw me down the line. This is some days you gotta give. This is some days you gotta take. That's the way it's gotta be. Roll it over and you will see. The city streets are full of people going nowhere, making time. The change from night to day is really only out just along the line. Can't you see the sign? When I looked around, I was heading down. Oh, somebody throw me down the line.
Good morning, my friends. 9:08. Little bit of change on a Wednesday morning. We got a good one for you. Going to be talking to friends of the show, OSF Healthcare, and I don't know, just a couple of minutes or so right after top of the hour news. And then 10:10 Lacy's going to join us. I might ask Sydney to come down at 10:35 because I completely messed up. We had like 5 guests yesterday because I completely misbooked the Alton Area Landmarks Association. Thought they were coming on today. That was yesterday. Still a great conversation, so we'll see if we can bug Sydney and get her to do blog talk a little bit early this week. In the meantime, I hope your guys' Wednesday morning's off to a great start. I know mine is, and all I can say is make sure you download that RiverBender.com app today so you'll never miss out. You can join myself and all of the thousands of folks that are in the know with your daily dose of everything local, plus with our partnership with the Associated Press. National and statewide news, all at the touch of a button. We'll take you right to Alton first. 2 Alton residents were recently charged with serious felony offenses involving home invasion and domestic battery. Here's what we know. Philip Schuler, 39, allegedly entered a victim's home without permission, causing property damage and injuring the occupant by striking their head. Schuler was already out on pretrial release from a prior felony case and had a no-contact order with the victim. Now, in a separate case, 23-year-old Bertrand T. Carter faces charges of home invasion, aggravated domestic battery, and criminal damage after forcibly entering a residence through a window, assaulting the victim, and fleeing. Carter has a documented history of domestic violence, and both men have been denied pretrial release and remain in custody. Also in the news today, Wood River Main Street is set to host its popular food truck festival this Saturday from 1 to 4 p.m. It's going to be a busy day in the Riverbend region. It's going to be in downtown Wood River at Ferguson and Whitelaw. Kristen Burns joined us on the show yesterday. The event will feature 11 diverse food trucks, including Jewel, the ice cream truck, and Pig on a Wing, plus games, live music, and more. There will also be an axe-throwing mobile bar from Riverbend Axe Throwing of East Alton. Entry to the event is free, and many downtown businesses will also be offering specials and discounts that day, including a large tent sale at Cleary Shoes. Also in the news today, as we stay in Wood River, the city is moving forward with plans to build a unique $750,000 splash pad in Central Park. This will be located between the Rec Center and Roundhouse. Park and Recreation Director Pat Minigu presented the proposal during Monday's City Council meeting and highlighting the Hydra Hub design, which features a massive playground integrated within the splash pad. This is going to be a new attraction that aims to draw visitors from Wood River and neighboring communities by offering this one-of-a-kind recreational experience. The city is applying for the OSLAG grant that would cover half the cost, with the remaining $375,000 to be funded locally. Council also discussed discussed exploring additional grant opportunities to help offset these expenses. The council did unanimously approve a resolution to proceed with the grant application, and we'll keep you updated as more details do roll out in the next couple of weeks. Also in the news, we learned about this just a few days ago. This weekend, the Greater St. Louis Hispanic Festival will host a vibrant celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month at Soulard Park from September the 19th through the 21st. The festival features an educational day, which welcomes over 500 students with crafts, games, and cultural activities, followed by Bad Bunny Night on Friday evening with popular DJs. Throughout Saturday and Sunday, attendees can enjoy live Latino bands, folkloric dancers, food, artisans, and children's activities. The festival highlights the ongoing work of the organization, which continues to support the community through scholarships and charitable events. For more details, you can visit HispanicFestivalSTL.com. Finally in the news today, Andriella Garlinghouse, a junior at Edwardsville High School, has been named the Darcy Goodman Allstate Insurance Student of the Month for her heroic actions and kindness. Recently, she assisted an adult in need of urgent medical attention at the school, potentially saving a life. Beyond her bravery, she excels academically as an honor roll student and participates in band and color guard. She also received 4th place in state discus as an 8th grader and is a cohort student at the Lewis and Clark Community College. Passionate about helping others, she aspires to be a criminal justice attorney. Her teachers and community celebrate her dedication and potential. As we wrap up on a positive note, you can see all of those student spotlights right there at RiverBender.com/news in the student spotlight section, where we highlight area students from the various school districts throughout the Riverbend region. At 9:14, let's take a look at weather. We're almost through it. We're almost through the heat and the bad air quality. Just a couple of more hours. That air quality alert was issued today and does run until 8 p.m. tonight. We talked about it yesterday being extended, and it has. If you have difficulties breathing, or if you have children, if you're an older adult, you should reduce your outdoor physical activity. And if you're able to, avoid going to work today and working from home. Telecommuting is what's advised. You can learn more at airnow.gov or that St. Louis Clean Air Partnership website at cleanairstlouis.com. That air quality alert has been issued until 8 p.m. tonight. Right now it's 74 degrees, feels like 76 today, hot and hazy. That's all I can tell you. That air quality today will be bad. Tonight, mostly clear. Already off to a rough start. Air quality at 65, which is moderate. That's only going to get worse as the morning rolls on. But the mold count's high, and so is ragweed. Today's a good day for your allergy medicine. Temperatures reach 90 degrees today and drop down to 55 overnight. I thought we were under the 90s. I'm sorry, I lied to you. Tomorrow, temperatures reach 93 degrees and drop down to 62, but on Friday, no more 90s after that. A high of 86 on Friday. We will see thunderstorms, a low of 62. Those thunderstorms will be mostly in the morning. You will see some in the afternoon. As we head into Saturday, mostly cloudy skies, a high of 83, a low of 60, and then on Sunday, a high of 82, a low of 62, and that's a look at the next 5 days. Here's what's happening now at 74. Feels like 76 out there. For time and temperature throughout the day, 618-465-4545. This time powered by Bounce Back, Rehab, Recover, Return Home. You can also stay up to date in real time all the time by downloading the RiverBender.com app today, or just by, once again, signing up for that daily email update. Hey, while I have you, who wants to win 50 grand? If anybody said no, it's just because you're in a bad mood today. You know, the big drawing for the Marquette Mega Raffle is going to be October the 25th during that homecoming party. $50,000. Yeah, on the line. Plus, second place is a cool $5,000. Third place, $500. Fourth place and fifth place, $250. Or, I don't know, how about you participate in the early bird drawings too? You could win $1,000 on September the 19th. That's this coming Friday, October the 3rd, the 17th, and the 14th. Now, all you got to do is go and buy them online at marquettecatholic.org/mega raffle, and they got a special for you. Buy one for $50, or you buy two and you get one free. So that's 3 chances at $50,000. What would you do with it? Seriously. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I would, I'm not going to take a vacation or anything, but man, you know how great 50 grand would be, getting the bills paid off and then kind of rolling into 2026 looking cool, having a great Christmas. You could do that too. That's MarquetteCatholic.org/mega raffle and be the $50,000 winner today. All righty. Why don't we do this? We'll take a quick break, look at downtown Alton, come back with OSF Healthcare, in that order, kind of. Downtown Alton first, Daily Show fourth. We'll come back with more next. With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Discover Del Mar Public House, located in Godfrey's historic Clifton Schoolhouse. Enjoy bold flavors like homemade falafel, fish and chips, and rotating pasta favorites. Relax with local beers, half-price wine bottles, and summer poutine nights. The only thing missing is you. Open Wednesday through Sunday. Del Mar Public House, where great food, drinks, and friends come together. DelMarPublicHouse.com.
Do you need to declutter your space? Time to call me, the Queen of Junk. Since 1993, we have grown to be the leader in residential, commercial, and property management junk removal. At Sparks Junk Removal, we are eco-friendly. We recycle, donate, or repurpose items back into our community. Trash is our last resort to the landfill. Plus, with our all-inclusive service, our crews handle everything from labor to lifting and landfill fees. Give us a call or visit our website, sparksjunkremoval.net, to reclaim your space today.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
When you need a project done right, on budget and on time, trust Gillahan Concrete. Gillahan handles every kind of project, big and small. Commercial, industrial, residential, from room additions and garages to patios, driveways, and more. Gillahan brings quality and experience to every job. Family owned with over 30 years of service to our community. Call today at 618-781-3914 or visit GillahanConcrete.com.
Accidents happen in a heartbeat, but lives change forever. Whether it's a car crash, workplace injury, medical malpractice, or wrongful death, you don't have to face the consequences alone. Keith Short and Associates brings over 33 years of experience and a reputation for fighting fiercely for your rights. For relentless representation that you can trust, call Keith Short and Associates at 618-254-0055 today for a free consultation.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Hey, me, what you wanna do? I think I could stay with you for a while, maybe longer if I do.
We're just saying that spider web will never come down. I honestly think the building will come down first and the spider web will be there. You know, and as we continue our conversations with OSF Healthcare, Charlotte and Stacy, you guys have been in here before. And Shannon, it's nice to meet you. How are you doing today? Well, and now today we're talking about National Recovery Month, and I'm really glad that we're having this conversation because, addiction really does affect all of us in some way, shape, or form, whether it's us directly, a family member, a friend, or someone else that's just close to us. And as we, kick it off today, let's talk about National Recovery Month. What is it?
Yeah, so, actually hearing you talk about it really kind of brings tears to my eyes because it does, as OSF, our facility, we really do value our community. And so August 31st actually kicked off Overdose Awareness Day. And so then that kind of puts us into the recovery month. So it's a month that we celebrate people that have taken those steps towards recovery, have, maybe know people that are in addiction, looking for that to try to, heighten awareness around what it is that we offer and how we're here to help.
Well, and I'm glad that there's more of a conversation on it too. And there was just an organization, Foster's Light in the Dark, that did a overdose awareness event over at Riverfront Park, and it was really beautiful. And it's things like that where the more you talk about it, I feel like is the destigmatization goes away a little bit or starts to improve. And with that being said, whenever it comes to addiction in healthcare, I'm sure that it's in many forms, and it does affect the way that you can treat patients and the type of care, we receive. And take me through that at OSF Healthcare. Whenever you're working with somebody that, might be battling or going through something, and Shannon would love to hear from you too, is there a lot of times where their overall physical health is also not where it should be as well?
Absolutely. So that is, I'll let Shannon kind of tell what New Vision is really about, but it's a company that we team up with them as an introduction to kicking off their recovery period, right? It's a medical stabilization, it's a detoxification, 3-day inpatient stay where we can, offer services. So I'll let kind of Shannon talk to that.
Yeah, Shannon.
Okay. So like she was saying, it's hospital-based, medically supervised, withdrawal management, and we withdraw from alcohol, opiates, benzos, cocaine, methamphetamines, which I think we're the only place that does strictly methamphetamines alone. And like kratom, we'll do kratom, and then we help with like discharge planning, stuff like that. So like if they want to do residential or outpatient.
So you help them with that transitionary period. That's really important. Well, and now take me through the eligibility a little bit. How do we qualify for programs like this, and what's that kind of process look like?
Okay, so you have to be 18 or older.
Okay.
You have to be in mild to moderate withdrawal, and
meet the criteria, really, some of the criteria around being in, withdrawal. So, yeah.
Well, and fill me in too, Shannon, because I feel like it's not really an age-specific thing, and you guys work with all walks of life. Is it one of those things where it really is just such a diverse group of individuals that you work with on a given day?
Yeah.
Really anybody, right? Anybody can walk through the door. I mean, as you mentioned, very first off, many of us have been touched by, addiction in our experiences, personal and professionally. And, you could have a job every day. You could not have a job. You could be a man, a woman, kids, families, married.
Grandpa.
Yeah.
Right.
It's that is a great point because we see every age that it impacts, and that's where Stacy and her team.
We are so fortunate to have New Visions at our facility. It really provides a bridge for the community. So someone would access a New Visions type service when they are physically dependent on a substance, right? So this would mean that they would need to be medically supervised, and it's a 3-day period monitored with a protocol by doctors and medication. And at that point, from my perspective as an outpatient department, I think a lot of people are going to be able to go to a rehab after that. That would be a good discharge. But some people do discharge home. And so New Visions has a pretty complicated task on finding the appropriate resources and ones that meet insurance needs.
Yeah.
Because that's a big deal too. Who
bet.
accepts commercial insurance, who doesn't. And so that's where we kind of come in the outpatient department, is once they've completed their detox, and let's say they went to a 28-day rehab program, so then they would need to follow up with care in the community. And so that care in the community would look like outpatient department treatment, which we provide. And we have a newer therapist, I think you've met her, Marla Nelson, who does tremendous work with substance abuse disorder. And in fact, she has just added to her collection of services. She's created a new group called Pathways to Peace, which is aimed for 12 to 14-year-olds who are living with someone who has a substance disorder.
Wow, that's incredible.
Okay, it truly, truly is. We also offer Al-Anon, but this group is really important. There really isn't anything like this around. And so some of the things a group would be looking to do would be to provide education about addiction, how to set loving boundaries.
Yeah.
Now, that's a concept for a 12 to 14-year-old, right?
Right.
Like, usually boundaries are being put on them.
Right.
But in these households, you know, we've got a different family dynamic going on. Self-care, instilling hope, you know, and moving forward. And what does life look like outside of addiction? Like, how do you envision a future when what's been modeled may not be, you know, the path that you want to choose? Where do you start?
This is such an incredible group.
Yeah, it is. I am so pleased. It's going to be on Tuesday evenings from 5 to 6.
How do we register for that?
So, like all of our groups, you would call our main number, 618-474-6240, and request an intake as a new patient. And this simply really is to get you acclimated to the department and make sure you're ready and appropriate for a group. Sometimes you may need a few individual sessions.
Yeah.
Maybe the pain is just so at the surface that you need some one-on-one time before you go into the group. But it's that simple, and we accept almost all insurances, including Medicaid and Medicare.
That's really important to note. And I think, how is this group brand new?
It's brand new.
Wow.
We just started actually this week.
Oh, wow.
This is our first week.
Well, how did that first session go? Did you get a chance to ask?
So it was yesterday, and I haven't got to touch base with the therapist
I just
yet.
think it's really important that you're providing that, because like you said, if the only thing that you can see for a future is what's in front of you, around you all the time.
Exactly.
The hope aspect of that is really huge too.
It is.
And
It is.
I think it's great that OSF, with partnerships with New Visions and everything else, from therapy all the way down to the actual health care service side of things, it's a wraparound where you aren't just saying, all right, here's step one, now good luck in finding step two and finding that transitionary period. How important is that, do you guys think, to have where you guys are all within that same network or that same branch of communication?
Well, it's just that continuum of care for our patients. And you mentioned them having other types of health issues, right? So if they come in through the medical stabilization program, through New Vision, and we see that they are struggling with, other health issues, obviously at home they may not be taking care of themselves.
Right.
So, what other things can we help them get through? And then we want to ensure that they're successful in their life. We don't want them to keep coming back. We know often that this journey for them is starting with us, and we want to see that it ends with us and that we continue that support. And even after, Stacy's team might not have any more, be able to offer more counseling or anything else. I mean, I'm sure that they have more resources that we can connect them to, because their support outside of their world is everything to them.
It truly is. So that same patient will, possibly touch so many different departments at St. Anthony's. Whether it may be an emergency room visit at one time, or finally having the courage to talk to their primary about some of their concerns, and their primary making a direct referral to New Visions, or even maybe making that referral to us first, and a therapist talks to them about their options, that we do have a medical stabilization. So it truly is all connected. The continuity is amazing.
Well, and it seems like, too, it's for a long time, people had to go a lot of other places to receive this care, and to have it within this region of ours, and especially this area, it's really great to note that, we don't maybe have to wait and see about a 45-minute, transport or an hour drive away to get the help that, we really need. Do you guys have a moment to take a break?
Yeah.
Let's do that. It's 9:30, and we'll come back with a little bit more of this conversation. It is National Recovery Month. We're talking with our friends at OSF, St. Anthony's Health Center, about this and the great services they provide. More next.
Throughout all life stages, you need someone in your corner, guiding you on your health and wellness journey. At OSF Healthcare, that's your primary care provider. Your OSF primary care provider is there for every stage of life. Find a provider today at osfhealthcare.org/primary.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
One look at you and I can't disguise. I've got hungry eyes. I feel the magic between you and I.
Daily Show, 9:32. Welcome back on a Wednesday. It doesn't feel like a Wednesday to me, and this heat is kind of driving me crazy. I'm just, we're almost there.
Through the week.
We're almost to Thursday when it's going to be back below 90 degrees, and then life will be looking a lot better. And it's really good to note, too, just going back into this, that if you know of any individual, if you're a school guidance counselor out there that watches this show, or anybody in somewhat of that kind of mentoring role, please tell these children about the Pathways to Peace, 12 to 14, right, Stacy?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And really good notes there, because that's a great service, and hopefully we can get them connected and get them signed up. And as we start going back into New Visions, I think the big thing is that it's all payers, correct, for this type of service, which is really big, especially when it comes to working with, your guys' hospital. That's a really big deal.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, that just, again, we try to, gear everything towards the community's needs. And so you come to us and we will work with you and try to figure that out. I know their team, I'll let Shannon give that phone number to their office, so that in case anybody's interested in that.
Okay, the number to the office is 618-358-0200, and we do try to do same-day admissions. So
that's good.
So if a patient calls in, we do try to get them scheduled that day.
That's important, because I think so many times that's a disconnect for so many folks, where they go, well, I don't have a week to wait, or I don't have 72 hours. I need it now, and I need help. And I think that's really good notes for the public, too. Mm-hmm. And, I think it's just important, too, to note just the different ways that you guys help folks that are going through the battle of addiction, and other, issues, too, with when it stems from mental health and other aspects. And real quick, could you guys give me just an overview of some of those services? Because I know you added more to the psychological services department the last couple of years as well.
So we provide individual, couples, family counseling. In addition, we provide group counseling. This group that I've talked about today is one of 15 groups that we offer on a weekly basis. And so right now the specific groups span from age 9 through the lifespan. So, future plans to maybe bring that down even a little bit further, but that's where we're at now. In addition to that, we provide psychological testing, which is something that is pretty unique for this area as well, especially since we do accept all of the payers, right? That is very difficult to find. So we have Dr. Lakritz, who
He's
had on the
great,
show
yeah.
a few times, and he provides psychological testing, ages 12 and up.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's really great to know. And that's just, it's better to know the information ahead of time than to need it right then and there. And as we go back into this, is it okay if we talk a little bit about what that first phone call kind of sounds like, just to get people a little bit familiar with the process, if they are a little nervous or just kind of want to be a little more prepared for their loved one or for themselves?
So like if the patient calls in, we take down like their demographics, what substance that they're struggling with, and kind of get like a feel of what their plans are once they leave detox. And then like some patients, they'll have us like they'll want to come in on a certain day, so then we'll go ahead and get them on the schedule. Pretty much that's about it.
And then after that, is it pretty much tailored to that individual from that step going on forward?
Yeah, so they'll come in they'll come in for their appointment, and then we do their assessment. As long as they meet criteria and they're in mild to moderate withdrawal, usually they're good to go for admission. So.
Wow. Well, and that's good to know too. And it's a 3-day program, correct? And then in those 3 days, and I don't know how much of this I can ask or get into. How quickly do you start looking at that? The next step, when's step 2 getting
Day
looked at?
1.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we start planning discharge,
Wow.
And the nursing team is really good at communicating with the New Vision team because they know that they're making those arrangements, or if they talk with the patient themselves and try to, get what their plans are, they'll communicate that and vice versa. So we try to make sure that transition is as smooth as possible to ensure that one, we worry about that stigma, right? We worry about what their home life is when they go back. We worry about their support system and all those types of things. So that's where the nursing team is really good at.
That's so important. And just another plug for you guys' nursing team for getting that recognition with distinction from Magnet. That's really important. And I think it's also important for folks to realize too that when they're going to this program, they're getting treated with the same care as everybody else. And I think that that's really important, like you said, just to go ahead and talk about that type of care, because you aren't looked at any differently. You're somebody that needs help and needs care. And I think that's so important for talking to a family member if they need to go do this, that aspect of it too. Yeah. Really, really unique. And as we're wrapping up this conversation, what's important to kind of hit home with or kind of drive home today before we say goodbye for now?
I don't know. That probably looks different for all of us, but for me, it's just exactly what you said, that we do treat everybody with the greatest care and love. That's our mission, that's our values, and we hold true to that in this situation.
And I think it'd be important to note that, as you mentioned before, it could look like many different points. It could be that emergency room visit for an accident that happened, right? And then the idea might get planted in their head, or maybe that conversation with their doctor. Yeah. But it really is it's a pathway.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm glad that we're there to be part of that path.
Yeah.
Shannon, anything else to add to this?
I agree with Stacy and Charlotte as far as the care that we give them.
Well, keep up the great work. And what's that phone number again for your guys' department?
618-358-0200.
Absolutely. We'll link everything in a write-up on RiverBender.com, but just note out there that, just like we say with Centerstone, addiction can happen to anybody, but the good thing is so can recovery, and with partners like OSF Healthcare, there's a lot of great ways that you can start that process for yourself or your loved one, and we'll link that in an article. Back with more after this.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Discover Del Mar Public House, located in Godfrey's historic Clifton Schoolhouse. Enjoy bold flavors like homemade falafel, fish and chips, and rotating pasta favorites. Relax with local beers, half-price wine bottles, and summer poutine nights. The only thing missing is you. Open Wednesday through Sunday. Del Mar Public House, where great food, drinks, and friends come together. DelMarPublicHouse.com.
Do you need to declutter your space? Time to call me, the Queen of Junk. Since 1993, we have grown to be the leader in residential, commercial, and property management junk removal. At Sparks Junk Removal, we are eco-friendly. We recycle, donate, or repurpose items back into our community. Trash is our last resort to the landfill. Plus, with our all-inclusive service, our crews handle everything from labor to lifting and landfill fees. Give us a call or visit our website, sparksjunkremoval.net, to reclaim your space today.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
When you need a project done right, on budget and on time, trust Gillahan Concrete. Gillahan handles every kind of project, big and small. Commercial, industrial, residential, from room additions and garages to patios, driveways, and more. Gillahan brings quality and experience to every job. Family owned with over 30 years of service to our community. Call today at 618-781-3914 or visit GillahanConcrete.com.
Accidents happen in a heartbeat, but lives change forever. Whether it's a car crash, workplace injury, medical malpractice, or wrongful death, you don't have to face the consequences alone. Keith Short and Associates brings over 33 years of experience and a reputation for fighting fiercely for your rights. For relentless representation that you can trust, call Keith Short and Associates at 618-254-0055 today for a free consultation.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Wanna hear George Jones? 'Cause my heart ain't ready for the Rolling Stone. I don't feel like rocking since my baby's gone. So don't rock the jukebox. Play me a country song.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be the news is a tough act to follow this morning, Beth.
It has a high entertainment value. I'll give you that.
Man, what a Monday. Beth, the Apple Festival is really one of the staple events in Jerseyville, and I'm really excited to be a part of this and help talk about it a little bit more. And just before we talk about the event, how's things at the society?
It's going great. We're really always busy.
It seems like that. Well, and you have the paranormal, the ghost tours, and all the other events throughout the year as well.
Absolutely.
And now we're gearing up for this one. We are just a few weeks away. October's going to be here before we know it.
I know. I hope it's cool weather. I'm looking forward to it.
We're getting Friday. We just gotta get to Friday. And on October the 4th from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m., you're going to have some fun over there for the 34th Annual Apple Festival. Where are you guys at in the preparation now? Is it like the calm before the storm almost?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
We're in the middle of the storm.
Oh.
We're cleaning. We're getting stuff ready. We're organizing. We're getting set.
So at this point in time, though, because it's 34 years in a row now, does it become almost a well-oiled machine where it's still a lot of work, but is it because of just all that you add to it and just the nuance, there's just always something extra to do?
It takes so many volunteers to make this work. Bless their heart. We always have a great group of volunteers that step forward to us. And we try to add new things, because we've been doing this for 34 years. You need to add something new every once in a while to keep people coming, although we have a fabulous crowd. I mean, it really is sort of the fall kickoff event for Jerseyville, it and the Harvest Fest, and so people really enjoy coming out and hopefully good weather that day.
That's going to be really cool. And now, have you been a part of this from the start, or?
Oh, heavens to Betsy, no.
What year did you come in?
I've been there about 15 years.
No kidding. Okay. In the 15 years, what have you learned just about this event event and then some of the others? Because to me, it's so interesting being a part of the Historical Society, because when you guys have events like this, it's almost like a living history event too, because you have generation upon generation coming out there. And really, when you take that photo and you hang it up in 50 years, you know, there's your historical photo.
Right. And it is something that so many people look forward to every year. I mean, they're like, oh, the Apple Festival, this is my favorite day of the year. Truly, people say that. It's just a great event. It is. We always have a fabulous crowd that comes out and shows up for it.
Well, now take me through some of the sights and sounds of the big day.
So, probably we have over 30 vendors. Let me say that. Yeah, over 30 vendors on the grounds, selling a variety of items. Bob Sandcamper, Holes by Bob, will be there. We have people selling honey, people selling crafts, you know, people selling baked goods. It's just a huge, huge variety of vendors. We have all of our buildings open for tours for $5. You tour all of our buildings.
That's super cool.
That is super cool. And our cornerstone, of course, is the Cheney House, or the Cheney Mansion, as some people call it. The history of this house is fascinating. It was actually built in 1827. It predates Jerseyville and Jersey County both. Very simple 4-room house, and over the years was added on to. So the Red House, as it was originally known, it was just a 4-room house painted red, so that's how it got its nickname. That is actually where a group of men met to decide the name of Jerseyville when we were getting our first post office.
That's super cool.
Yeah, I mean, just chock full of history.
Well, and now when someone goes inside the building, what are some of the items they can see, or just some of the different rooms?
Well, we are lucky enough to have some original items from the house.
Wow.
Most of them were sold at auction in 1989 when the house was bought and sold and donated to us. But it is a 10-room house, and so there's a formal parlor. There's a setting room. It was a stop on the Underground Railroad. Wow. You can actually go to the basement and still see where slaves were hidden on their journey north. So
how fascinating. And for $5 to be able to tour all that and get a sense of your local history too.
Right. And there are docents in every room giving you information on the house. But so in addition to the Cheney House, we have the 1-room Lone Star School, which was brought in from Western Jersey County. It has almost all its original contents. We're talking the oil lamps that were used in the 1870s, the different size desks for the students. So we have the 1-room schoolhouse. We have the Union Force Church, which was a little 1-room church that was completed in 1920, again, with almost all its original contents.
Wow.
Yeah, so you walk into these buildings and it's like, oh my gosh.
Well, and that's so special, because everyone, for the folks that aren't familiar with that, a lot of times it's very detailed replications, but it's not the original components, you know?
And
that's
we are
cool.
so lucky to have, again, the generosity of the community is just amazing. It was former students and people who lived out in the field and area that said, hey, I have something from the Lone Star School. I'll be happy to give it to you, you know? And so we also have 3 log cabins.
You don't need to go to Salem for those.
No, you do not. Our 3 log cabins are a nod to Hickory Grove, which was there before Jerseyville. Hickory Grove actually consisted of 3 log cabins and the Red House. So that's why we have 3 log cabins.
That's interesting.
And then we have a wonderful museum. We have a 10-room museum that includes 2 horse-drawn sleighs, a Sears motor buggy from the early 1900s, a Model T Ford, a couple of old cars from the early 1920s. We have an amazing Native American artifact collection, including a mastodon bone and tooth that were found in Otter Creek.
In Otter Creek,
Jersey County. Yeah.
This is really cool. And now, is the museum part of that?
$5 will get you into everything.
No kidding.
Yes. Yeah. And the
what
museum,
an opportunity.
10 rooms. So we have a transportation room. We have a wedding room with dresses from every decade dating back to 1870. A kitchen from the 1940s. It's a great place to just wander around and spend some time.
This is so unique. And now, how can folks support and get involved throughout the year?
Well, they can just give us a call at the Historical Society. We have a genealogy research center that is open every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thursday we're open from 1 to 4. Friday and Saturday we're open from 10 to 4. And so someone that is manned every week. I tell you what, if you have relatives in Jersey, Calhoun, Macoupin, Greene County, you need to come up and see us. We have over 1,000 family files that include photographs, newspaper articles, all kinds of information. It's a fascinating place to come and do some research.
This is so fascinating. And I think you guys do such a great job because, and you can go online now. Here's some of the website, too. You can follow along. JerseyCountyHistory.org. But, I mean, just some of the different, like this here, I'll zoom in. This is the Model Ts that you guys have in here.
That's our transportation room.
This is so cool. I mean, how awesome is that? And you have this right in your backyard and in our backyard, right here in the area, which is unique. And then exhibits like this, too, which is really cool. This looks like one of the area veterans displays.
That is our World War I display. And, I think one of the reasons I love history, especially Jersey County history, is because I grew up in Jersey County. I'm a native. I was absolutely convinced nothing interesting had ever happened in Jersey County. I knew that for a fact. And once I got involved in the Historical Society, it was like, oh my goodness. We had 2 Tuskegee Airmen born, raised, and graduated from Jerseyville High School. And it's like, how remarkable is that? The man who opened the first integrated free school in the United States, he did it in Jersey County. It's just a fascinating narrative.
Well, and that's why I think this whole area, especially Jersey County, is so fascinating too, because it's a lot of this is replicative of, or at least a foreshadowing of national history. Just maybe a couple of years earlier or later after the national side of things. And you see that playing off, and it's so cool.
It is. It's so interesting. Being so close to Alton and St. Louis and how they connected, and just the World's Fair in 1910, was it? 1903? What year was that?
1904. I was just at the zoo. That's the only reason I know is at the zoo.
How many people made it over to St. Louis for the World's Fair? It's like, really? It just fascinates me.
It really is. And now this is why I think you guys really should stop by from 9 to 5 on October the 4th, 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. It's going to be great. But activities for the kids, 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. And now $5 per child, and they can do all sorts of things.
Yes. This is cool. Our Pioneer Immersive Experience. So this all centers around those 3 log cabins. And for $5, your child's going to get a Pioneer chore checklist. And we're going to have them complete a series of chores for us. They're going to pitch some straw, and they're going to milk a cow, and they're going to gather eggs. They're going to do laundry on a washboard.
Wow.
And for every one of these chores that they do, they get a wood pitty. And then they go into our old-fashioned mercantile, which is housed in one of our cabins, and they buy penny candy.
That's cool.
And they take it home. And it's fabulous. And plus they get to do 2 Pioneer crafts, take those home with them. So this is something we added a few years ago, and it has just been so much fun. The kids absolutely love it.
I've always heard that there will be no greater line than a child with a washboard. I don't know what it is. There's been so many people that have said that.
It is so funny because we do this on field trips too, and these kids invariably say, I would help my mom do laundry if she did laundry this way. Sure you
I'll
would.
see you after school. Oh man, but I've heard that from so many people. The kids just flock to it.
Oh, they absolutely love it.
So why don't we do this? It's 9:35. We'll take a break. We'll come back, talk a little bit more about the event and more, and just touch on too the fact that I hate to tell you this, but Home Depot, I'm pretty sure Lowe's already had Christmas stuff out. So we are going to touch on Downtown Country Christmas just to save the date a little bit here. More focus, though, on the 34th Annual Apple Festival. That's set for October the 4th, 9 to 5. We'll come back and talk more.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Discover Del Mar Public House, located in Godfrey's historic Clifton Schoolhouse. Enjoy bold flavors like homemade falafel, fish and chips, and rotating pasta favorites. Relax with local beers, half-price wine bottles, and summer poutine nights. The only thing missing is you. Open Wednesday through Sunday. Del Mar Public House, where great food, drinks, and friends come together. DelmarPublicHouse.com.
Do you need to declutter your space? Time to call me, the Queen of Junk. Since 1993, we have grown to be the leader in residential, commercial, and property management junk removal. At Sparks Junk Removal, we are eco-friendly. We recycle, donate, or repurpose items back into our community. Trash is our last resort to the landfill. Plus, with our all-inclusive service, our crews handle everything from labor to lifting and landfill fees. Give us a call or visit our website, sparksjunkremoval.net, to reclaim your space today.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
When you need a project done right, on budget and on time, trust Gillahan Concrete. Gillahan handles every kind of project, big and small. Commercial, industrial, residential, from room additions and garages to patios, driveways, and more. Gillahan brings quality and experience to every job. Family owned with over 30 years of service to our community. Call today at 618-781-3914 or visit GillahanConcrete.com.
Accidents happen in a heartbeat, but lives change forever. Whether it's a car crash, workplace injury, medical malpractice, or wrongful death, you don't have to face the consequences alone. Keith Short and Associates brings over 33 years of experience and a reputation for fighting fiercely for your rights. For relentless representation that you can trust, call Keith Short and Associates at 618-254-0055 today for a free consultation.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Everything's got a place, you know? I was just telling Beth, that spider web hasn't moved for about a year now. I might need to build my house. So I was just being nosy and looking through the event lineup a little bit more, and honestly, you guys have one of the best food and drink menus in like the area when it comes to events. This is unique. I mean, from ham and beans with cornbread, which I'm always in for cornbread, walking tacos, homemade pie. You said you're known for your desserts?
You're right.
Really?
Yeah.
This is cool. I'm a big sucker for desserts and pies too. That's probably much my spot.
We have a ton of homemade pies.
Do you really? Who makes them?
Volunteers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We all pitch in and make pies and bring them. Yeah.
Well, you got chicken strips, fries, hot dogs, so much more, kettle corn throughout the day, and then
fried fish.
Oh, wow.
Fried fish, yeah. Fried fish, chicken strips, pies. Chicken strips for those children, you know.
Are you guys getting Yelp ratings right now? Really cool thing, too. An Abraham Lincoln impersonator is going to be there as well, correct?
Yes.
This is so cool.
This year we're going to have something called Echoes from the Past, and this is really tip of the hat to vintage voices.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I love vintage voices. We're going to have 4 women. We have a memorial at our place, which is just headstones. So there's no one buried there, but people walking by would think it was a cemetery. There's going to be 4 women stationed around that little memorial, and they're going to be portraying 4 notable women from Jersey County history.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Do we know who's being portrayed yet?
Emily Bradshaw, Adele Van Pelt Holman, who she was the she ran a clamp company in Chicago in the like early 1900s. Really an amazing story.
What a trailblazer,
yeah,
though,
and
seriously.
I think the other two women were more like mothers and grandmothers and more traditional matriarch roles. So we're very excited. This is our first time doing that. No charge. You just show up and you can enjoy that.
We're really fortunate to have such rich history around us, seriously. And when it comes to this event, I love the fact that you guys aren't diverting from the plot, so to speak, where you're like, it's the Historical Society, but here's a video game wall, go have fun. Which, all the kids would like it, but to really kind of bring everybody back a little bit and really teach the kids something in a fun way,
Absolutely. And that is the key to history, because there are people that you say history and their eyes glaze over and they are checking out.
Yep.
And, one of the biggest challenges is to make it relatable to whoever you're talking to. And that's the challenge. That's the fun of history.
Absolutely. Now, what's the one chore that the kids don't like to do? Is there one that you've noticed over the years where you're like,
no,
the lines?
because we try to make them fun.
Okay, so every one of them is going to be good. No, how do you milk a cow? Are they going to milk a real cow?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, we have a wooden cutout of a cow because, as a farm girl, I can tell you, cows can be very temperamental.
Okay, that's
and
what I was
even the
going-
best behaved cow can kick under the wrong circumstances. We don't want to put it in, but they love Bessie, and Bessie's very gentle. And
I'm glad I asked. I figured if I thought it, maybe someone else did too.
Absolutely
But
did.
this is so cool though, and I just love the fact that it really just like churning butter and stuff and gathering eggs, and really just I think it just maybe puts a critical thinking component to it too, where you can take the kids back and let them think, man, what else did they have to do back then?
It is so fascinating. Like I said, we do this for field trips.
Oh,
and
do
at
you
the
really?
end of every field trip, we ask the children to draw a picture of their favorite part of the day. And we sit and read those and just die laughing. I mean, they're so funny. They're just so funny.
How can we schedule a field trip with you?
They can call us
Okay.
at any time. If somebody can't make it on the 4th and they would like a private tour, we are open for private tours. All they have to do is call up there and talk to us, and we'll be happy to schedule a private tour for them.
Really cool. And it doesn't just start and end with activities and the tours and Abraham Lincoln and echoes of the past and great food. And man, this is becoming a shaboozy of an event.
We have live entertainment.
That's where I was getting into next. And what I think is really great is there's always the local connection with, and you have the Jersey Community High School choir students, which they're fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be 9:30 to 11:30 for a full 2 hours, and then noon to 1 is going to be the Gibson sisters, the Gibson girls. They're so great.
They are so fabulous.
They got a huge audience too.
Yes.
I couldn't get over that. It's just incredible.
They are.
And then the Hetzel family will be 1 to 3, and then back in the saddle. That's the Mager brothers, correct? They're really good. They play everywhere.
And what is amazing is one of the Mager men's wife she is weaving in one of our cabins the whole time that the festival's going on.
So whenever we go through and just kind of piggybacking off of that, where there'll be folks doing those type of activities throughout.
We have a quilter. We have Mary on her loom doing some work. We usually have a spinner. I don't know if she's going to make it this year, so I'm scrambling to see if we can get somebody else in there to spin, because that's a fascinating thing to see
it is.
as well.
It's an art. It's talent too. You got to be pretty good to do that.
Very, very interesting. We have a guy that makes lice soap. So yeah.
Wow. I just love it. I just think it's so cool. And this is now, your 35th is getting ready to be here before we know it, too. Did you already start thinking about next year?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because we have a big anniversary coming in for the Cheney House as well.
Do you really?
So
what year?
1827 is when it was built. So,
yes, you're almost at 200.
200 years. Wow. Fascinating. And we are actually working on restoring a room that has never been open to the public before.
That'll be really cool. Well, and then also we'd be remiss not just to touch on, because I know we'll talk about it again soon, is Downtown Country Christmas, which this is one of the coolest events in the region, really.
Yes. And now I have to say, this has no connection to the Historical Society. I just happen to be involved in both organizations. So, yeah, the Downtown Country Christmas Festival, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, a free event. Everything at this festival is free. 1 to 5 p.m. You got to get a waiver for your children and get a wristband. But once you do that, we have all kinds of family-friendly holiday games, inflatables. Your kids can go in and write a letter to Santa Claus and get a reply. They can get a picture taken with Santa Claus. There's hay rides. It is just a fun day. It all ends with a lighted parade at 5:15.
It really is such a cool event. And honestly, one that you guys really need to mark your calendars for, because that's one you don't want to miss if you haven't been yet. And you guys make it look beautiful down there, too.
Thank
Really
you.
beautiful. Getting back into the Apple Festival, October the 4th. That'll be here before the Christmas Festival. We get ahead of ourselves here, you know. But I swear, I looked over. I'm like, that is a Christmas tree. Those are sets of Christmas trees getting put up.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know. Everyone needs to spend their money on something, I guess. The annual festival is featuring something for everybody. Now, over 30 vendors. Is it all kind of related to the overall tone of the event, or is it kind of a variety? Okay,
no, it's a variety.
I like
it's a
that.
variety. Yeah.
So just a little bit of everything?
Absolutely, a little bit of everything. I have seen the list, and it is everything from homemade laundry soap and goat milk soap and
oh wow.
purses, holiday decor, handcrafted items of all kinds. Like I said, the honey bowls by Bob. His wife does baked goods, as most people know. So it's just a huge variety.
Man, get over here. What are you talking about? October the 4th, you're going to see 30 vendors and crafters, activities for your kiddos, historical tours, $5 for those activities from 10 a.m. until 4. Then the tours of all 5 of those buildings, correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5
Okay.
for $5. That's pretty incredible, and really great stuff in those buildings too.
Mm-hmm.
And tours finish by 4:30 that day, and all children 12 and under must be accompanied by an adult on those tours.
In our museums, yes.
Okay.
In all of our historic buildings, we ask that.
And then, is there anything else we need to promote about this?
No, like I said, just come up. It's a fabulous time.
Yeah.
I mean, we have tons of parking across the street to the north in the high school. The high school is directly across the street to the north of us. So tons of parking there. So parking's not an issue. You can come and just walk right across the street and get to us. But like I said, if you can't make it on the 4th, call us, and if you'd love to come and see everything, and we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. And then if you're a school teacher out there or an admin and think this would be a great field trip spot, go ahead and reach out and set that up too. That's really cool.
Yep, we do our tours, our field trips usually in the spring, and we do have people from Madison. We have schools from Madison County come see us.
I think it'd be cool. Might as well. Riverbend history is our history. You know, no matter what county it's in, we're all tied in together by 10 minutes. You know,
absolutely.
It's always it's like the people in St. Louis that act like we don't exist together. I'm like, that's just a river, you know.
Exactly. And it was smaller at one time. So.
It was. That's right. Well, Beth, it was great talking with you. Always a pleasure. And then I know we'll be talking again here soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
9:47, little bit of change. We'll see you October the 4th, 9 to 5 over there at the Jersey County Historical Society. And that's going to be the 34th Annual Apple Festival. We'll have a recap for you on an article at RiverBender.com/news. More show after this.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Discover Del Mar Public House, located in Godfrey's historic Clifton Schoolhouse. Enjoy bold flavors like homemade falafel, fish and chips, and rotating pasta favorites. Relax with local beers, half-price wine bottles, and summer poutine nights. The only thing missing is you. Open Wednesday through Sunday. Del Mar Public House, where great food, drinks, and friends come together. DelMarPublicHouse.com.
Do you need to declutter your space? Time to call me, the Queen of Junk. Since 1993, we have grown to be the leader in residential, commercial, and property management junk removal. At Sparks Junk Removal, we are eco-friendly. We recycle, donate, or repurpose items back into our community. Trash is our last resort to the landfill. Plus, with our all-inclusive service, our crews handle everything from labor to lifting and landfill fees. Give us a call or visit our website, sparksjunkremoval.net, to reclaim your space today.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
When you need a project done right, on budget and on time, trust Gillahan Concrete. Gillahan handles every kind of project, big and small. Commercial, industrial, residential, from room additions and garages to patios, driveways, and more. Gillahan brings quality and experience to every job. Family owned with over 30 years of service to our community. Call today at 618-781-3914 or visit GillahanConcrete.com.
Accidents happen in a heartbeat, but lives change forever. Whether it's a car crash, workplace injury, medical malpractice, or wrongful death, you don't have to face the consequences alone. Keith Short and Associates brings over 33 years of experience and a reputation for fighting fiercely for your rights. For relentless representation that you can trust, call Keith Short and Associates at 618-254-0055 today for a free consultation.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back, 1010 Daily Show, Wednesday. Myrtle walked out today. Well, not today. 100 years ago.
100 years ago and a little bit of change. September 8th.
Hey, that's how I come back with my show sometimes.
That's probably where I came up with that in my head. From hearing you.
I said, 1010, a little bit of change, Daily Show, Tuesday, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I will take credit. So fill me in on Miss Myrtle.
Okay. So this was a really, 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 really interesting article to write, and also a really, really interesting article to talk about, because I knew so little from the newspaper articles and then had a really hard time finding anything else. Walked out of her life on September 8th, 1925, and she just left one evening. Her daughter, they had 5 living children at the time. Her oldest daughter came to the house, and the children were in bed. And Myrtle was just gone. A bunch of her clothes were missing. She was just gone. Her husband was at work at the ice plant that was part of a brewery. What brewery was it? Bluff City Brewery ice plant. Because this was during Prohibition, so they were making ice. Mm-hmm. So he came home. She was gone. He put something in the newspaper on the 10th about how she was missing, and if anyone could get in touch with her, give him an update. In that newspaper article, he said that for the past year or more, she had been in poor health and on several occasions threatened to leave the family. So at that time, they had a 4-year-old, a 6-year-old, and an 11-year-old at home, and then 2 children that had grown up and moved out of the house, and then they also had 2 children that had died several years before that. So almost a week later, there was another article in the newspaper, and she still hadn't been seen or heard from. There was a quote: Stiles said that if his wife will come back, no matter what are the circumstances, she will be welcomed and need make no explanations. He hoped that through the columns in the newspaper, he could get word to his wife, personally or through friends, to let her know she was wanted back home. And it said, Mr. Stiles thinks that his wife merely became wearied of steady work in the home and decided to go off on a bit of adventure for herself. But he says she did not realize what a hole in the family her departure made, or she would not have done it. And then there's nothing else. Nothing else to tell me when she came back. But she did come back. She did. Because she's in the 1930 census.
Okay.
And so she was gone for either 1 week or 5 years. Somewhere in the middle. I don't know. I cannot figure it out.
I just thought the guy celebrated their 50th with her still gone. Like, honestly,
well,
I thought...
and then they celebrated their 50th anniversary in 1952.
Like, I thought that was just kind of him still kind of holding on to it.
No. That's them. And there are so many... I try not to speculate in my articles, but this one required speculation. It also required not making assumptions. There were a whole bunch of things where I'd start to believe something and then have to remind myself that I was only getting one side, or that I couldn't make assumptions about the children's deaths, stuff like that. So, no, I know that she came back before 1930 because she's in the 1930 census, but I don't know where she went. I don't know how long she was gone. I don't know if she had, a mental breakdown. She'd had 2 children that died within 3 days of each other, a 3-year-old and a 9-year-old.
That's terrible.
Terrible. Several years before that. That was in 1918, and I tried to figure out if that would have been related to the 1918 flu pandemic, but it was earlier. It was in August, and that didn't really hit the area until a little bit later. So I think it could have been something like diphtheria, like a communicable disease in the family. Okay. But again, that's an assumption. I don't know. I can find the death index, so I know when they died and where, but it doesn't have cause of death.
Yeah.
And the children were buried in the Hardin Cemetery, and I don't have access to those records. So like if we're at the Alton Cemetery, I can look at the original registers and see the cause of death, but I can't see that for other cemeteries.
That's so fast. Well, like, was this common for people to put their, did multiple people run away, and was this normal for this to be in a newspaper?
I don't know. And there are other things that are weird about it too. She left on her 42nd birthday. So my first thought was, okay,
got a bad gift.
Was she like, this is a gift to myself. I am taking a break.
Maybe she told him and he didn't remember.
Well, or was it an ultimatum she had in her head where she was like, if I am not getting the support that I need,
I'm out of here.
By my birthday, I'm out. So I don't know what her mindset was. Also, and I think this is really important, we are getting his interpretation of it.
Yeah.
He is saying that she'd had been in poor health, that he missed her. And I believe that, but at the same time, that's also something that an abusive spouse could say.
True.
To try to get someone to come back. You're saying all these things hoping that someone will tell you where your spouse is, even if they don't want to be found. I don't know. That's where the assumption part comes in. You can't assume positive or negative. You just have to take it completely at face value.
You're right, because, the assumption would be like, well, probably a lower probability because they got back together, but who knows? Maybe they had a rough patch, and maybe they needed some time away, and maybe it was 5 years. Maybe it had to be 5 years because 1930 would have been...
but it could have been less than that. I only know
that at most it could have been 5.
At most it could have been 5. I think it was probably...
A week,
maybe right after this. But I don't know. I have no idea. And then there are things like, I looked in the city directories. The 1926 city directory has her in it, but city directories are usually published for the previous year. So she could have been there, they could have been compiling it in early 1925 to publish in 1926. She's still at the home.
Does anybody know what happened with this? Like, seriously, there's got to be a relative out there that knows about this story.
I wrote about that. This one actually has a note at the end from me.
Oh.
Instead of just writing an article. No. I said figuring out the tone of this article was very difficult because I wanted to write about this woman's life where all you have other than this is like a wedding, not even a wedding announcement, just like the record of her getting married and census records of who was living in the house at any particular time. And then her obituary obviously doesn't say anything like this. And we have this... Yeah. If you just see the 50th wedding anniversary announcement, she's smiling. They look super happy. So you have no idea about this event.
I think that she told him she was going somewhere and he just forgot. I really do. I think that this guy woke up and was like, where the hell is my wife? And didn't realize she told you 14 times she was going to her, her in-laws or her mom's house. I don't know.
Well, and it's a lot harder to
communicate.
Yeah. We've talked about that. There was that woman who didn't know her husband had died until she read about it in the newspaper because he died here and she was in St. Louis. So you just don't have the same sort of information flow either. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's just to me, it's just bizarre. It's just to me, if she's gone, she's gone. You know what I'm saying? It's just a week later, he's like,
Well, and I
put something out there.
He really he put 2 articles in the newspaper.
Right.
And I mean, also, okay, when they got married, she was 19, he was 27. They had their next baby, like their first baby, the next year.
Okay.
So she had, at this point, had 7 children in the almost 25 years, 23 years they'd been married. Just like children. And then the 2 that had died.
What? See, now that's got to be a lot of stress too, I would imagine.
Right.
I mean, that's a lot of...
Yeah. I mean, she may very well have been depressed and just needed to...
I feel, how interesting though would it be if some relative calls and
Oh,
like, hey, you guys
that'd
are
be
putting way too much into this. She really just like went to the farm for a week.
I would love to know
you know
that.
what I'm saying? That's what I just feel like it's gonna happen. Where you and I are like sitting there spinning our wheels, and it's like, no, she really like the guy just forgot his wife was going to the store.
And I would write a follow up. So
we would have to.
Please tell me. But yeah, I was
There's
like looking up Vegas. I was like, was that a thing in 1925? No, it got big in the 30s.
Were speakeasies big at this time?
They were, but you wouldn't go for like a week and a half.
Who knows? You know, maybe you just needed a break.
I just don't know. And I would love to know because there was so much detail in the 2 articles.
Yeah.
And then
it dies on the vine.
Right.
It's not like it's like, thanks for your efforts. I hope she comes home. There's no final story.
There's no final story. And so I am trying to piece together a final story. And even so the 2 children that died were buried. That's when they were living in Calhoun County. They were buried in the Hardin Cemetery. And Myrtle and her husband Elmore are both buried in the Hardin Cemetery as well. So I started to write, Myrtle and Elmore are buried with, together with their children in the Hardin Cemetery. And then I thought, whoa, I'm making an assumption about that.
Assumption, yeah.
I know that the 4 of them are buried there, and I can see gravestones for Elmore and Myrtle, but their gravestones don't match.
Why?
So I don't know. So I don't know if I assume.
Okay, this is very fascinating.
I assume they're all in the same plot. And it's probably that we're reading too much into it.
Yeah.
It's probably that he died 10 years before her. Well, he died, I think, 12 years before her. And they got a stone, and then she died, and they got a different stone, and they didn't have that design available. It's so easy to have these like conspiracy theories of what happened when it's oftentimes just so much simpler than that. But your brain wants to make things, I don't want to say wants to make them more complicated, but it's very hard not to just start making up your own story. So I would love to hear the real thing.
I don't know. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. You don't just disappear for who knows how long. Was she in the 1927 phone records?
We don't have that. Well, no, they weren't. Neither one of them was. Neither one. I think they moved pretty soon after this, and so that's the issue too. They lived in Alton from 1920 to 1925-ish. But then by 1926, I think that they were living back in Calhoun County, and they don't have city directories.
It's
for any
because she
Calhoun
wanted to live back up there.
And
I guarantee you.
It could have been. It absolutely could have been.
Goodness, this is so fascinating.
I know, and so this is the kind of thing that we do at the genealogy library. We have to look at the facts, think about all the different things that were possibilities, but also always stick with what we actually know. And one of the things I was telling my coworker Lauren this morning is that I can't get access to the death certificates of the 2 children that died because I'm not a relative.
Oh,
but
gotcha.
If I were a relative, and if there's any relative out there, they can they can request them from the state. So if you're a relative, it's a lot easier to do genealogy research because you can request things that are more private information. But another part of that, just to go off on
another tangent. Yeah, no, this is really interesting.
So the 2 children that died in 1918. One was 9. So he was on the 1910 census. The other one was 3. So he was not on any censuses because he wasn't born yet in 1910 and he died before 1920. So he disappears. And this happens with a lot of children where you don't know that there was a child born in a family who died during childhood because they were born between census years. And unless you can find something like, in this case, on Find a Grave, which is a wonderful resource that volunteers run putting pictures
Yeah.
of
That is a really
gravestones.
good website.
It's really, yeah. And I try to, whenever I have an obituary, I try to add it to the record so that it's easily accessible. Or I've put some photos from Alton Cemetery on there. But unless you have another way to find these people, they're just gone.
Yeah.
And so luckily somebody had put both of the kids on the on Find a Grave and linked them to their parents and siblings.
Who put them on there?
I don't remember. Yeah, you can see. But I don't know if that person had any
a lot of relationship. You normally don't
right,
Find a Grave.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
So you could, but not necessarily. So that way I could then confirm the records. I could look for them, but that's how I knew to look for them, and that's how I knew what names to look for.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
It could have been that they had a record of all the people buried in there. Like they had a cemetery register and could put all those people in.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't know where that information came from.
We need help on this one. We're going to use one of our lifelines, and we're going to do like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Who are we going to call? Or
let's go Don Hubert. Let's get him on the line.
Well, it's not the Alton Cemetery.
Oh, it's right. It's in Calhoun. What do you call in Calhoun?
Well, I tried to find contact information, but I just did like preliminary search. So I think what I need to do.
Let's call their main line.
This is
right
the thing.
now.
Like I have to be done with actively working on this, so I can go to the next part of my job.
Right.
But it's fascinating, and that's the kind of thing where if somebody is like focused on their own family and they have the time and energy to track things down, there are next steps that you could take if you really wanted to get deeply involved in it.
We need your help.
Yes.
We are calling on you, the audience. We got to find, someone's got to know, especially up in Calhoun County. I feel like people still know each other up there.
Yeah.
More of a home.
I would absolutely love to, because I hope that she just was like, I need a birthday break. Because the birthday thing gets me too, because I feel like
she had a trip planned.
Birthday, yeah, like it leans it more to the positive.
Yeah, it's not like it was just like, a Friday night in September, know?
Right.
I don't know.
But again, speculating is helpful in trying to figure out all the options, but it's not helpful in actually knowing the real story.
It's great to get your sponsors paid when you speculate, but it doesn't do anything for the bread and butter of the conversation. You know what I'm saying here, Lacy?
Right.
10:26. We'll take a quick break with Lacy. We'll come back, chat a little bit more, and honestly, this is just such a wild story. It's such a... You should do her for Vintage Voices.
Well, she's not buried in the Alton Cemetery.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Sorry.
More next.
What's up? It's Mike Keith. What's up, bro? Good, my guy. Back to spotlight other amazing alumni and how they discovered their path at Lewis and Clark. Let's jump into it. This is Dwight Wirtz, president of Wirtz Welding and Tank Service, the nation's premier distributor of tank trailer parts. Dwight has been an outspoken and long-time supporter of the college and is the current chairperson of Lewis and Clark Board of Trustees. Oh, and he's a Lewis and Clark grad.
I'm Dwight Wirtz, and I am a trailblazer.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh-made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Back, Daily Show, 1028, a little bit of change. Back with Lacy. Just a fascinating one.
Yes, I want to talk to her. I feel like she would have such an interesting story to tell herself.
It's
too.
just like we were talking about during the break. She looked way too happy.
Yes.
I mean, like, it was like not a fake smile.
No.
I have seen it. And as a broadcast professional, I am one. You have to fake your smile a lot. You can see the signs. No.
Yeah,
No.
in her 50th wedding anniversary photo,
all smiles.
She looks so happy, like truly, truly happy. And like CJ was saying, like there are a lot of times when it's a fake smile or like even everybody looks just dour.
Yeah.
And she looks
having
like
the time
she's-
of her life.
Yeah.
Look at this. I mean, this woman's seriously having the time of her life. Let me see. Google slide. Look at that.
Yeah.
Having the time of her life over here. That's
And I mean,
smart.
this is 27 years later. So maybe they worked out any problems that they had in the meantime. But again, like we have no idea if it had anything to do with the relationship with her husband. There were a lot of like mental health. If it was, if it had to do with depression or anything related to mental health, they didn't have the same sort of support we had. She couldn't just take antidepressants or go to therapy. And again, don't know if that was even the factor. It could have been that she didn't have the support.
I think
that
that's
she
what's
needed.
just so. And like you said, there's just so many. Maybe I really think this guy was just confused. I really think so because we know that the selective hearing is a real thing, and who knows? She might have said, "I'm going up to the farm in Calhoun for a weekend or a week for my birthday or a couple of weeks, and I'll see you in a little bit." Maybe he didn't want to go, and she took that as "I'm not going with you," so she was a little grumpy.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just a whole misunderstanding. To me, like I said, the photographic evidence of this lady smiling ear to ear, and the guy looks more sad than she does.
Maybe she came back and made him pay.
Yeah, she was like, all right, you gave me a couple of rough years. Get ready for the next 27, pal, because it's going to be fun.
Got some ultimatums.
Yep, get ready, because that iron is going to be hitting you in the morning.
But yeah, I just don't, and they...
I mean, it's such a. I love the story just because of the fascinating aspect of it.
Mm-hmm. And they had 5 children who lived to adulthood. They raised one of their grandsons, who's I think he was born in 1931. And when they had this 50th anniversary party, the sons and daughters were all there. It was an open house for everybody to come to at the home of one of their sons. I mean, it was
like to the public.
Well, yeah, they used to do that. Like, if you were like friends, no, they would put something in the newspaper so that people could like,
there's no fade. Yeah,
well wish them.
That makes sense.
And yeah, it was a party.
I just like I mean I don't know. Here's the thing. How many of these situations happened?
Right.
Because this is like, you know a lot more about 100-year-ago articles. There weren't that many of these floating around, about people begging their wives or significant others to come home.
I would have written about it the first time I saw it.
It's like the first version of the Joe Dirt story, where he's trying to find that woman that Kid Rock stole, But
I mean, you're right, though. Like, this brings up another point. Like, how many times did something like this happen and there weren't any articles in the newspaper?
Right.
So we don't know.
Well, and like how many times was it actually just because of a communication issue because you didn't have a phone to say, by the way, where are you?
Well, and I also think that the reason it was in the paper is because the wife is the one that walked out.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that there were lots of times when
the men would walk out. Yeah.
So I don't know if we would even be able to figure out. I think we would find more articles about a woman leaving than we would about a man leaving, even if it was more likely for the man to leave.
Yeah.
So even if you looked at it that way, you wouldn't get a real picture of how many people were leaving, because
I feel like he should have given a follow-up.
I think so too.
Like, I'm not saying, I'm not trying to pick on, what was his name?
Elmore?
At all, but
Yeah.
just like, probably going around town, if they knew who you are, you're gonna be like, hey, that's the guy whose wife took off on
Right.
it. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't,
Yeah.
if she came home like she did,
Yeah.
you might want to put out in the, hey, by the way,
Yeah.
thanks for the help.
Right.
Which you gave me none of, she's home.
Well, and maybe they did. Like,
But who
we
knows?
don't know.
It's just, to
We
me,
don't
you would
know.
want to clarify so you don't get heckled.
I think if you put 2 articles in the newspaper,
You have
then
to
the
have a
readers
third.
deserve an answer.
They have to have a third. I've
Yeah.
always said that. You can't do 2.
No.
You got to have 3 stories.
I agree.
The first, the second, and the follow-up, just to get it all out of our system.
Mhm.
That way there's no conspiracies, because look what we're doing to this poor family.
All conspiracies.
I mean, literally, like, if we are like network news right now with this poor family. We are coming up with...
And that's why I would absolutely love to know the real story, if they even know about it, because it's also the kind of thing
That's
where
true.
you might never have spoken about it again. She comes home, and then all has worked out, and then they just don't.
You drop it.
You drop it.
Yeah.
And so, of course, their children would have known, but I don't know that their grandchildren or great grandchildren.
Would they tell them? I don't know. I don't know. Very fascinating time.
Yeah, it was a really fun and frustrating one to write, because every time I tried to figure out something else, it just gave me more questions.
More things to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
Good chase here. What'd you write about this week?
I wrote about 2 pigs escaping from Upper Alton.
It happened 100. You remember that one that always kept getting out a few years back?
There was a pig that kept
Oh
getting
my
out?
goodness, ran uptown Alton like crazy.
Oh no, I didn't know about that.
And everyone would send me a text going, "Is Steve there? You got the pig." My pig doesn't leave the yard. He doesn't live in Alton, by the way. Just because any city official comes knocking on my door.
Wait,
there ain't
you
gonna
had
be-
a pig?
Yeah, Steve.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a little miniature pig. Well, kind of. He got neutered and gained 100 pounds right away, so he doesn't move much.
Wait, where does he live?
He lives, with a relative in the basement and in the backyard. I don't want to give him out over the air.
No, that's fine.
I might violate zoning laws. I don't know. I feel like someone would take that opportunity today. But we have a miniature pig. But yeah, we'd get sent. But, is this your pig? No, we don't even live near that area. No, not mine. But yeah,
so somebody's pig got out, and people assumed it was your pig, and it wasn't.
They did what we're doing right now.
Exactly.
I'm excited though for this pig story.
Good.
Well, these were swines too, I'm sure, back in the day.
They were pigs. It said little pigs, but I don't know how little they were. And they were to be consumed. They were not pets.
They put that in the paper, like, hey, can you find these feeding hogs?
Yeah. They were like, this person lost their pigs. He's been looking for them.
He's trying to eat. His family's starving.
No, they didn't say that. No, it was like the story of the pigs escaping and being like sighted all over town, and like you imagine like the Benny Hill music of like trying to chase the pigs around, and then like when they were found and all of that. So
do they have a photo of them getting made into Christmas dinner?
No,
no follow up.
I did find. What did I? Oh, I had a photo of a book. I couldn't find. I didn't want to have a photo of pigs because then I was afraid it would seem like it was the actual pigs. And I don't have a photo. So I have
very smart call.
Thank you. I have this photo of a book that's out of copyright called like Taking Care of Pigs for Amateurs or something like that, because it felt like it really fit. And then I have maps of where the guy lived that the pigs escaped from his yard, both in the 1920s, what that looked like, and then now. So you can see.
I think the names of these books are always so fascinating. Like they're the most like just generic title. Like How to Make Soup for Your Family of 9. Like, it's always something like that. It's not like Soup for the Soul or Chicken Soup. It's just like, How to Tie a Shoelace. That's the name of the book. That's the book. You're going to learn how to tie a shoelace.
Well, you know what? You know what you're getting into when you pick that book up.
Did people make money off of those books?
Because
like the
you
how-tos?
couldn't just...
I guess there was no internet.
Right. So if you needed to figure out how to raise pigs and you were an amateur, you would need the Raising Pigs for
But how did they know
book.
the accreditations of these authors? It could have just been me writing about this and taking a guess.
Put it in there, like...
I'm a pig farmer of 15 years, and here's all you need to know.
Yes.
Is that what it, like, seriously?
Yes, but I will say this. The book that I found that I used a picture of was a British book, so you'll have to do that in a British accent instead.
I got people in the UK that watch the show. I want to keep them around. But could you imagine a country British folk?
I know. Isn't that exciting to try to figure out that accent?
That's for you at home to submit. This is cool. I like it. Okay. 2 feeding hogs on the loose.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen those Family Guy cutaways where they cut to Conway Twitty?
No.
You got to watch those.
Okay.
I can't say them on the air because I'll get in trouble.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No. Maybe I do. I don't know. 10:39. Lacey, this was a good article. Very
Thanks.
fascinating.
Thank you.
If you seriously know this story, please reach out to Lacey or myself, and I'll connect you with Lacey. And
Yes.
we can do a follow-up because that would be interesting. We could help this family close a chapter.
Well, yeah, and I could give them everything that I have found, and then they could give me what they know,
trade.
and we could put it together.
A trade.
Mm-hmm. A trade.
A trade, if you will. 10:40, a little bit of change. We'll come back with more Daily Show on a Wednesday, right after this one.
For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Munganast Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and they will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Munganast Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Munganast Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Discover Del Mar Public House, located in Godfrey's historic Clifton Schoolhouse. Enjoy bold flavors like homemade falafel, fish and chips, and rotating pasta favorites. Relax with local beers, half-price wine bottles, and summer poutine nights. The only thing missing is you. Open Wednesday through Sunday. Del Mar Public House, where great food, drinks, and friends come together. DelMarPublicHouse.com.
Do you need to declutter your space? Time to call me, the Queen of Junk. Since 1993, we have grown to be the leader in residential, commercial, and property management junk removal. At Sparks Junk Removal, we are eco-friendly. We recycle, donate, or repurpose items back into our community. Trash is our last resort to the landfill. Plus, with our all-inclusive service, our crews handle everything from labor to lifting and landfill fees. Give us a call or visit our website, sparksjunkremoval.net, to reclaim your space today.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
When you need a project done right, on budget and on time, trust Gillahan Concrete. Gillahan handles every kind of project, big and small. Commercial, industrial, residential, from room additions and garages to patios, driveways, and more. Gillahan brings quality and experience to every job. Family owned with over 30 years of service to our community. Call today at 618-781-3914 or visit GillahanConcrete.com.
Accidents happen in a heartbeat, but lives change forever. Whether it's a car crash, workplace injury, medical malpractice, or wrongful death, you don't have to face the consequences alone. Keith Short and Associates brings over 33 years of experience and a reputation for fighting fiercely for your rights. For relentless representation that you can trust, call Keith Short and Associates at 618-254-0055 today for a free consultation.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back to our daily show. I'm just coming back here with just a little bit of an update for you. This is from Dan Brandon. This is for our Metro East Star portion of the RiverBender.com platform. This is out of Belleville. This happened at approximately 1:15 yesterday, Tuesday, September the 16th at Belleville West High School. A Belleville Police Department school resource officer and staff member at the school were alerted to a student possibly possessing a firearm on campus. Belleville police said the student was immediately separated from others, and after a search by the officer, it did result in the seizure of that firearm. Here's what we know. Here's the latest. The juvenile is currently in custody at the Belleville Police Department pending further court proceedings, and authorities are emphasizing that the safety of students and staff were the highest priority throughout this entire incident. Belleville Police said there's no known threat to any individuals, and officials believe that this situation is isolated. The investigation remains ongoing. The Belleville Police Department expressed gratitude to the student who reported this situation, and it underscores the importance of collaborative relationships between the police department and school staff. Due to the student's age, no additional information will be released on this incident. If there is any more updates to it, we will bring them to you directly. Also, a part of our a part of our news brief, I'm not feeling too good today. My sinuses are just getting bad. I think it's a temperature change or I'm getting sick. We'll find out in a few short days. Out of St. Louis, 4-month-old quintuplet cheetah cubs are making their public debut at the zoo and offering visitors a rare glimpse of young felines as they explore their new habitat. Their names, Asha, Bozy, Sherpa, and Milani, and Wicket, born May the 5th, to the first-time parents Cora and Vader, 4 and 8, began accessing the cheetah habitat at River's Edge today. Wow. The cubs will be visible to the public during limited morning hours. This will be normally 9 to 10 a.m. As they adjust to their environment, the zoo is open daily 9 to 5, but viewing times for the cubs not guaranteed. The quintuplets, 3 males, 2 females, have spent their early months bonding with their mother and each other in a private habitat. I think this is always such a cool thing. I keep wanting to do it behind the scenes at the zoo. I think it'd be so fun. The animal care team has been gradually introducing them to new enrichment activities to support their development and prepare them for public appearances. Here's what Julie Hartel Donardo had to say. She's the St. Louis Zoo's Kevin Beckman curator of carnivores. She said the Cora's cubs are lively as ever. They have a distinct personality and interact with each other like any sibling would, like running, playing, and wrestling. Under Cora's close watch, the cubs have been approached each new enrichment with brave curiosity, and they're excited to see them explore the new habitat and for the public to meet this family for the first times. The cubs' names are inspired by Ewoks of Endor, continuing the Star Wars theme established by their parents' names. That's really cool. Here's a little bit of a shot for you. Can I pull this up here? Am I doing the right thing? Hold on here. Stand by. Let me pull this up. Look at the little guy. Can I zoom? Come on now. Look at that little guy. How cute is he? That's one of the quintuplets that you can see at the St. Louis Zoo. So there's a little bit more for you on this Tuesday morning or Wednesday morning for your news brief, something that was just submitted by the St. Louis Zoo just a couple of moments ago. We are going to take a quick break. I'm going to come back and fill you in on a little bit more on this Wednesday morning before we wrap up. But while I have you, I really think it's important to fill you in on Keith Short and Associates. They're a new supporter of the show, new friend of the show, and a new content provider for the show in ways of really dissecting trial law. I'm really excited to have Keith and his team on here. You know, the first time they joined us, and you can follow along at SIL, that's SouthernIllinoisTrial.com, SILTrial.com, but he joined us and filled us in that, you know, a lot of these attorneys, it's very rare to go to maybe have 3 cases brought to trial in their career, and Keith Short and Associates, they do it all the time. I mean, they do so much when it comes to injury, estate and probate, workers' comp, transactional issues. They have trusted and true team members, and they have proven results. You know, you can also stop by SILTrial.com to get some advice by Keith through their blog, and you can get a free consultation today by going to SILTrial.com. You can join Keith Short in a couple of days. September the 26th, they'll be back and filling us in on more insightful tips and conversations when it comes to the legal realm. We'll take a quick break. SILtrial.com, more Daily Show next.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Discover Del Mar Public House, located in Godfrey's historic Clifton Schoolhouse. Enjoy bold flavors like homemade falafel, fish and chips, and rotating pasta favorites. Relax with local beers, half-price wine bottles, and summer poutine nights. The only thing missing is you. Open Wednesday through Sunday. Del Mar Public House, where great food, drinks, and friends come together. DelMarPublicHouse.com.
Do you need to declutter your space? Time to call me, the Queen of Junk. Since 1993, we have grown to be the leader in residential, commercial, and property management junk removal. At Sparks Junk Removal, we are eco-friendly. We recycle, donate, or repurpose items back into our community. Trash is our last resort to the landfill. Plus, with our all-inclusive service, our crews handle everything from labor to lifting and landfill fees. Give us a call or visit our website, sparksjunkremoval.net, to reclaim your space today.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
When you need a project done right, on budget and on time, trust Gillahan Concrete. Gillahan handles every kind of project, big and small. Commercial, industrial, residential, from room additions and garages to patios, driveways, and more. Gillahan brings quality and experience to every job. Family owned with over 30 years of service to our community. Call today at 618-781-3914 or visit GillahanConcrete.com.
Accidents happen in a heartbeat, but lives change forever. Whether it's a car crash, workplace injury, medical malpractice, or wrongful death, you don't have to face the consequences alone. Keith Short and Associates brings over 33 years of experience and a reputation for fighting fiercely for your rights. For relentless representation that you can trust, call Keith Short and Associates at 618-254-0055 today for a free consultation.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
And don't rock the jukebox. Wanna hear George Jones? 'Cause my heart ain't ready for the Rolling Stones. I don't feel like rocking since my baby's gone. So don't rock the jukebox. Play me a country song.
Welcome back. 10:53, a little bit of change. Hey, so I was going to do an All-Star Award. Man, I am really not feeling good. I decided I'm not, and here's why. You know, John Daly is a spirit animal of mine. John Daly is a spirit animal of mine because I wish I could go out there, crack a 12-pack or a 24-pack, maybe have a couple of Southern Conference, and go shoot 3 under. That's why he's my spirit animal. No shoes needed. He'll go out there and see you on the course. Well, John Daly has, of course, set some records in his life. We'll take you back to 1998 when he took an 18 on a par 5, the 6th hole in the Bay Hill Invitational, when he hit a 3-wood into the water 6 straight times. Been there. Again, spirit animal. Well, John Daly set another record. Broke a record. And it was, well, for something we can all relate to. He took a 19 on the par 5 12th hole at the Sanford International. So, details We're a little unclear from the Minnehaha Country Club. I think that's how you say it. The PGA Tour champions do not have a laser system to record shots there, so we really don't know. But Daly did not immediately respond to comments on this. People want to know how it happened. According to the shot-by-shot details, he hit a tee shot into the rough and then hit the next 7 shots into the hazard. Makes me feel better about my play. He finally cleared the water. So he hit it 7 times into the water. Cleared the water into more rough. His 17th shot on the collar of the green and got an up-down for his 19. It broke by 3 shots the previous high score for a hole on the PGA Tour champions by 3 players. Most recently, Bruce Crampton in the 96 Greater Grand Rapids Open. So you know what? Come on. Unlike his previous high score, at Bay Hill, the 59-year-old Daly made a birdie 2 on his next hole. He had to settle for par on his 13th hole at Minnehaha. So he did turn it around. See, it's not about what you did currently. It's about how you recover from it. There you go, John Daly. Keep doing great things. All right, ending in scandal. Organizers of the World Stone Skimming Championships in Scotland said a cheating scandal led to the disqualification of several competitors. How dare you? What a sacred event. The World Stone Skimming Championships, an annual celebration of the sport also known as stone skipping, I didn't know it was a sport, held every September on the western Scotland island of Eastdale. The rules of the competition require the stones thrown by competitors to skim across the surface of the water to be naturally occurring slate from the island. But several competitors, let me get this microphone close so they know I'm serious. Hold on here. But several competitors in this year's event were found to be wielding rocks that appeared to have been shaped and smoothed by a machine. Ridiculous. I got calls from concerned competitors. They were worried that people might think that's how things are done here. Kyles Matthews, the event's toss master, told the Scottish Mail, I contacted the individuals who admitted their transgressions and I had to disqualify them. Their transgressions, always proper and professional. To give them their credit, they deeply apologize for bringing the sport into disrepair and accepted disqualification, and we accept that that's the end of the matter. Very professional. Hey, they were just trying to throw rocks. They had a tumbling machine. They thought they could gain an edge. They got to be found out. Matthews said organizers are considering new rules for future competitions requiring participants to choose from stones selected by officials instead of, quote, finding their own. I think you hold them in. I think you bring them into court. The World Stone Skimming Championship doesn't even have cash prizes, but the winner does receive a trophy. The first round of the competition features competitors attempting to skip their stones across the surface of the water to the back wall of a quarry, a distance of about 206 feet. That's incredible. I have never skipped a rock, I don't think, 100 feet. Not even 50, maybe 50. Those who qualify for the second round then engage in a toss-off to determine the winner. Kentucky man Jonathan Jennings became the competition's first ever American winner in the adult male category of last year's event. But Lucy Woods, she's going to be in the Hall of Fame of stone skimming. Adult female category champion for the 6th time. That's incredible. Anyway, I found that story, thought it was cool, wanted to share it with you. Don't cheat in stone skimming. You know, I guess that's the moral of the story. You will be found out, and I'll talk about you on the show. I'm out of time. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I'll see you back here on a Thursday. Until then, try your best to stay out of jail.